So the very first topic which we are going to cover today is QAT and Ribbon. So QAT is called as a quick access toolbar. Actually, that is the very first thing when you see this platform with Microsoft Excel application. That is the very first thing available for you guys, but most of the time we are not aware about it and we usually don't use this feature. That's why it's considered very underrated, but it's very helpful. So I'm going to take you through the quick access toolbar first, and then we will talk about a little more deeper into customize ribbon, how it can be helpful, how it can be relevant to you. So in the Excel on the top bar, the green color bar where you see the very first option where you have this save button and undo and redo button. This is called quick access toolbar. What is quick access toolbar means? So quick access toolbar means this is a place where you can actually assign the icons of the command which you are using very frequently. So over one click, you can simply use it. So I'm going to give you an example. For an example, most of the time it happens that you are working on some file and then your boss will come and then they'll say, can you just send me this file? Can you just send me this updated file? So usually what we do is either we will save the file and then we will go to our Outlook and then attach this file and send it. But we are the smart people, we know the way. So we will go to file, in the file, we'll go to share, and in the share, we can click on this Excel workbook. Once we do that, our file is attached and the mail is drafted. We just have to put the email ID and send it to the respective person. But if you see, even from here, I'll have to go here and then share, and then I have to make 3 clicks. How quick access toolbar can be helpful for that? So if you see this tiny drop down icon, I'll click here and I will check on email. When I'll do that, my email icon is now embedded there in my quick access toolbar. So next time if someone will ask me that, can you just share me the file? So I'll just go here and just click once, and with one click, my email is drafted now. So I don't have to go and find that command where it is right directly available to me. Let's understand some more bits about the quick access toolbar here. So in this, you have some default option where you can just have new, open, save, email, quick print, print preview, spell check, redo, undo, sort ascending, sort descending, or if you have a touch screen, then touch mouse mode. So all these things, few default commands are there, but you have a vast options to pick from, and you can just simply go to more commands. Many more command, you have got all these popular commands here, which are frequently used commands like cut, copy, center align, alignments, delete, fill, font, and all. But even if you click here on the popular command and you go to all commands, then you will have more than 1,000 commands here to pick from, and they are as detailed as possible. So you can directly pick few commands, directly work with them. So for example, one of my favorite one is, let me see where it is. Yeah, toggle full screen view. So I'm just gonna add that. So this is one. Second, one of my favorite is camera command. So I'm just gonna go and add that. Once I'll do that, so what toggle full screen view help me is it just direct icon which help me to present my Excel in a full screen mode. So when I click on the full screen view, then it will come as in just as in presentation view. So in PowerPoint, how we have a presentation mode versus the editing mode where we work versus when we click on that presentation mode, so it comes on the full screen. Same way that option is available in Excel also. A lot of people are not aware about it, so that's why they don't use it. But then when we click on this full screen mode, it gives us more space and the focused area to present our data. So that's one. Second one is camera tool. Camera tool is very effective tool for me. So right now, let's say I have some data in this cell. I want to move it. I want to make it floating. I can't. If I use camera, I'll just select that range. I'll click on the camera and then I'll click anywhere and I will get a linked floating image of that particular text. So if I'll make any change in that area, the image will also be updated and I can adjust that image anywhere. I can move that, resize it. I can do a lot of things. So that will be very important. That will be very helpful in terms of dashboard designing or presenting your data. So these are the few commands you can use. So there are a lot of options. You can just go through this. You can explore all these options. You can go through all commands and there are commands as detailed as possible. So for everything you have option to just select, click whatever you want to, just whatever you want to add in your quick access toolbar, just click on that and add. And then you can simply see that icon here. Also, if you feel like that this space is not enough in quick access toolbar for you, you want more space, you want to add more commands in this, then you can just click on this tiny drop down icon and you can say show below the ribbon. In that scenario, now this entire space is for quick access toolbar and you can have all the frequently used icons here just by the one click, and then you can use those commands. So that will save you a lot of time. You don't have to go to the command. Command will be directly available to you in front of you directly here. Just in the extension of quick access toolbar, quickly understand about the ribbon, which is the most important feature of this workbook or the Excel platform. So how we can customize that as per our need. So if you see the ribbon, in the ribbon, you have these home, insert, page layout, formula, data review. These are called tabs. So these are the name of the tab. Under each tab, if you see, we have group, like under home, we have first group, which is clipboard. So you can see all these vertical, tiny vertical lines here. So these are dividing the group. So first group is clipboard, then second group is font, third group is alignment, fourth group is number. So just like this, we have groups, and under those groups, we have our commands. So under clipboard, we have paste, cut, copy, and format printer. So that is the typical structure of a ribbon, Excel ribbon. Why it is important for you to understand the structure of it? Because now I'm going to teach you how you can actually customize and make your own tab as per your own requirement. So most of the time, what I feel like when I'm working, I have these cut, copy, paste command, which I frequently use, but then also I use shape very frequently because I create dashboards. So this insert and illustration, something I frequently use. The problem is they are on a different tab. If I have to go to data, I have to do the sorting, then it is on data. So they are on a various tabs. They are being categorized by Microsoft with some logic, but they have also given you the freedom to choose what you want to see and where you want to see. So for that, what we will do is we will right click on this anywhere and we will go to customize the ribbon. When we will customize the ribbon, you see now we are at the same section just as a quick access toolbar, but here is a quick access toolbar, here is a ribbon. So we'll talk about the ribbon. In the ribbon, you can see the name of all the tab. When you click on this, you can see the name of all the groups in the home, clipboard, font, alignment. When you click on this, you see all the commands. So similar way, either you can disable if any specific tab you don't want to use, then you can simply disable it and keep it limited. Or what we can do is we actually can create our own custom tab here. So I'm going to show you how. So for that, you just have to click somewhere here and you have to click on new tab. Once you click a new tab, you will see a new tab. In bracket, it will be custom, which means it is designed by the user, not by default. So in the new tab, and then you can click on the tab, you can click on the rename and you can give any name. So I'm going to give here my name. And then I will reposition it. So right now, if I click OK, this tab will be appearing after review. So see review tab, then Pankaj tab, which is blank. I will reposition it to the last. So I'll click on this. I will take it to the last. After help, I want this tab and click OK. Now my tab is in the end, but there is nothing visible in this tab. Why? Because I have not added anything. So then you can click on this group. I'm going to add two more group and I'll just rename it as per my choice. I'll say this one as in group A. I'll say this one as in group B and this one as in. You can name it anything, whatever you want as per your choice. And I will just randomly add few commands here. You can add any command as per your choice. You can go to all the commands or you can go to popular command and whatever you can choose. So in group A, I'm gonna select copy, cut, decrease font, delete cell, delete row. In group B, I'm gonna add email, fill color, font size, format printer. And this is just for the demonstration purpose. You can be thorough with what you want to add and where you want to add, and you can create as many as group you want and tab you want. Then I will click OK. As soon as I'll do that, now you see I have my own custom tab with my own name. So that's how you can design your own tab. You can just give it a name for like designing. There's one entire dedicated tab for data related. There's one dedicated tab, and you can choose and pick your own commands, what need to be visible in that particular tab. So that's the first step, how you can make your Excel more productive, more easily navigative. So now we will move to the power of binary on the second step. Now in the second step, what we say, the power of binary. So if you see in the lockdown, everyone is sitting at home, everyone is gaining weight, everyone is just after the lockdown want to go to a fitness center and reduce all that excess fat. We do that with the Excel. We do that with Excel by sitting at home. You don't have to go to gym and anything. So when we talk about the power of binary, so we mean to say the Excel binary file format, which is another underrated thing which usually people are not aware, so they don't use it. So what happen in Excel whenever we work in Excel? So Excel is a tool which has been encoded in a XML language. So whenever we do something on Excel file, we add some data, we add some image, we add some formatting, a code has been written in the background, and that code has been written in XML file, XML structure, which take a much file space compared to a binary language. So when we save a file in XLSB format, then what happened? The entire code, whatever we have done, the entire code will be written in the binary format, which is a much space saving language. So our file size will be reduced. So I'm going to demonstrate you directly what I'm saying, so it will make more sense. So if you have, and I'll encourage you to do this activity at your own, at your files, at your system, that if you have a heavy file size and if you want to reduce a file size, you don't have to do anything. Within 4 to 5 seconds, you can reduce the file size up to 50%. How? I will show you that. So I'm just going to remove this file. So this is the file I have, XLSX. This file size is 31.9 MB right now. And if I will open this file, this is so heavy that it will take some time. It will take a couple of seconds to open. And if I'll start working on that file, it's gonna stuck, it's gonna hang a lot of time. So that's the typical problem we face with Excel. Whenever we are working with heavy data, we are having a huge data, more than 10,000 to 20,000, our files start slowing down and the file size will be increased. Now I have to reduce the file size of this file. I will not do anything else. I'll only go here in the file. I'll go to save as, and in this I will select a file format as an XLSB. When you select XLSB and save, just let it save, let it convert and done. If I'll go back to that same folder, you see similar file in XLSX, it was 31.9 MB. Same file in XLSB is 9.93 MB. So the file size has been reduced by almost 60% within second just by changing the format. So what it is mean when we say XLSX and XLSB? So I'm gonna take you to this technical part of it. I'll not spend much time on that. So I'll just take you to the technical part of it. So let's say I'm gonna name it binary and I'm gonna XLSS standard. And I will just change the extension of both the file to zip. So what will happen then they will not be open and executed in Excel. They will just open as a zip folder so we can see the internal working of that particular file. So I'm going to open the both of the file. This is our standard and this is our binary. So if you see the file which is in standard, which means which is in XLSS format, that entire code files has been saved as in .xml, which means the code has been stored in XML coding. But when we save the file in binary, entire code structure had been stored in binary files, which is more compressed and very light weight in terms of file size. That's why they drastically reduce the file size. There is no harm over the 10 years. Over the 10 years I've faced and I've worked with these file formats, I have realized I never faced any issues. So it's safer to say I will recommend you to start saving your file by default in XLSB format, and they will be faster compared to XLSX or XLSM, and they will be very less in the file size space. If you want to change the default setting and you want all your new file to be saved as an XLSB by default, then it's very simple. You can click on file and go to option, and then inside you can go to save and then here you can save the file in this format. You can select XLSB. Once you will do that, every time when you will create a new file and you will press Ctrl S, that will be stored in XLSB format by default. So you don't have to just go and select here. By default, that will be stored as in XLSB. So that's my recommendation is switch to XLSB format. Within seconds, you can make your file from FAT to FIT. And there's a quick comparison of a same file in various format. The same file we had in XLS format, which is 2003, 97 to 2003, file size was 70 MB. Same file in XLSX was 32 and XLSM was 29 MB, but XLSB was only 10 MB. That's a great thing to make your file faster, make your file so XLSB file are comparatively less in size, they open quickly, and all the formula and calculation work faster than XLSS. So switch to that. Next step we are going to take is go to Heaven. Why we call it go to Heaven? Because in this we will talk about the goto function, which is available for you, which is a very good function, but I've seen a lot of people don't use this function. So now we will talk about the goto function. So how goto function can help us. So let's say, first of all, if you want to find the goto function in your tab, so you'll have to go to home. Under home, you will find it in find and select. There is a goto, but there's a shortcut key Control G. You can use that. First of all, why goto function is handy. So if I'm working on something, let's say this is a file, I have a couple of tasks to finish. My first is find the password cell. So I have stored my password in cell number P10000. So what I will do is I'll either go to P and then I'll try to go using arrow keys, or maybe if I have a lot of data, I'll scroll it down. But if you want to jump on any cell in the entire sheet, you can just press Control G. It will open the goto function dialog box for you, and then you can simply say P10000 and in one go it will take you to that cell. So that is the first task of goto. Goto means go to that particular place where you can just simply type D150 and it will take me to D150 directly. So I don't have to scroll, I don't have to find, and I'll have to navigate. That's the first task of goto. But it's not limited here. It have much more option for you. So for example, I have this data table here with me. My second task is fill blank in department column. So I have these three people, these three employees from finance, these three from HR, these three from IT, and these three from ops. So what I have to do, I have to fill here finance. So if I'll do one by one, it will take a lot of time for me. So rather than that, what we can do is I'm going to simply select this range. I'll go to goto and I'll click on spatial. When I click on spatial, there's the option called blank. I click on the blank and then out of selected range, it will only select the blank cells. When it will do that, all I have to do is I have to press equal to sign and up arrow key and then Control Enter. And in one go, all my blank cells is filled with the cell above to that. So simply in one step, I can do that. Now, second thing is I have a working day for each and every employee. Based on that, I have decided their payday. So per day rate is $200 they should be receiving as a salary. So these are their salary. Now I decided, okay, $200 is quite less. My employees are working hard. I need to give them $250. But in this what happened, I will not even realize, but all the people, all the employee, all the 12 employee will not get the advantage. Why? Because this is a formula here. This is a formula. This is a formula. But this one is a static value. Someone accidentally just typed the value here. And after that, no matter what I'm going to change, even if I'll put 1000, that person will not get the benefit out of it. So quickly, if you want to check that in your formulated cell, is there any constant value and all? For that also, you can select goto. You can go to, and then you can say constant. So in this selected range, you click on constant, then it will tell you, okay, this value and this value are constant. They are not formula. So now you can fix them. If I have to select in this range, similarly go to spatial, constant, and done. Now I know these four cells has been changed. They are constant. I have to fix them first. So that's how you can quickly jump. You can go to it. Last task, let's say here I have provided a validation list and I want my user only selecting this validation, but somewhere someone just type H somehow removing my validation and they type H, which is not the category in my list. So I can again go to here and I can check for data validation. And I know this cell and this cell, they don't have the data validation. Someone have removed the validation from this cell. So I can fix and I can reapply my validations here. Last thing is I just want to replace the blank with NA. So it's very easy. I'll just select this. I'll click on G, Control G. I'll go to blank cells. I will type NA and Control Enter. Enter, apply on all the selected cells. So now in one go, I've changed it. So that is the power of goto function. So I would encourage you to start using this goto. It's very useful whenever you're working, selecting, specifically if you have to select all the formula. Let's say I want here and I want to highlight all the constant cells. So I will simply go here, click on this and I'll say constant, done. And I will change their background color. So I don't have to reapply my formattings and anything all, and I'll just simply just using goto in one go. I can just change it and I know these 4 cells has been changed or made constant. Custom format. So I know a lot of people are aware about the formatting, the custom formatting. So when we talk about the number, we have the option of number formatting. For that, we go to format cell. In this format cell, these all are number format, which we can apply on any number. General, numerical formatting, currency. If I apply currency, then it will look like in rupees because we are in India. If I apply date, then they should look like date. If I apply time, then they look like time. So all of you are aware about all these formatting, so I'll not spend much time on that. But again, the most underrated formatting of out of all these is this custom. Most of time what I have seen is people using custom formatting only for the purpose of maybe just for the purpose of changing the date format where they want a specific, let's say DD, comma, DD, YY, or maybe the time format. That is the maximum use I've seen people doing, but there's a lot more to that. If you go to custom formatting, and I'm going to unveil some secrets about it. So if you see in custom formatting, there are so many options are there, which we don't even understand and we don't even try to get into it because they look scary, to be very honest. They look scary, and that is the reason that we don't get into it. We only just choose our whatever limited format we know. So I'm going to debunk the magic out of it. I'm going to explain you how all these functions are being designed. So all these custom formatting are designed based on this semicolon. So if you see, there are 3 semicolons. OK. So actually this entire custom formatting is segregated into 4 parts. That 4 parts is divided by 3 semicolons. OK. So first part is about positive numbers. OK. So first part is all about positive numbers, sorry, negative number, then second is positive number, third is 0, and fourth is for text. So let's say I have few numbers in here. Rather than this, I want to show, rather than showing as an amount, I want to show if this is a profit, if this is the amount is in plus, positive, then it's a profit, negative, it's a loss. I want to show the profit and loss of these companies. So I will go here, I'll select conditional formatting, and I will say 2 semicolon. Obviously, the first one I'm gonna use is profit and then loss. So which means if the number is in positive, so this will apply. If the number is in negative, the loss will apply. Click OK. As soon as you will do that, now your number has changed to profit and loss, but they haven't lost their numerical property, which means if you select all of them, you still can take some out of it and you will still get the total. This is the total amount, and you can apply any kind of mathematical calculation on this, and they will not be text. It just format change is happening. So you can decide on your own format. For an example, I just took these 2 up and down arrow. I'm going to tell you from where I got it. I got it from insert and symbol. In the symbol Arial font, I have this up arrow, insert, and down arrow, insert. These 2 I've used it. So you can, instead of profit loss, you can use this icon also. So I can just again go there to custom formatting. In the custom, I say instead of profit, Just go me up sound up, and instead of negative, tell me a down. Click OK. And now they will be looking like up and down arrow keys here. And they are still the numbers. They are still see the formula is there, which is working. The numbers are changing and the signs are changing. So that is how you can do it. And it's not only limited till here. For example, I want to give some kind of color coding to it. So I don't have to use custom formatting, which is actually a little heavy and increase the file size. Rather than that, you can use the format cell. And I will say here, if it is red, then give me in green color. And for negative, if it is then in square bracket, I'll use the color. Let's see if this works. Click OK and got it. I have my statement plus minus and that too with the color coding. So simply you can choose your color. You can just write it down and you can create it. You also can create a conditioning based on this custom format. So for example, this is another example we will take where we have marks. We have each subject wise we have marks and we have to see if in any subject someone is failed or not. So if the marks are less than 50, then the person is failed, and rather than showing the number, I just want to show the status of pass and fail. I can do that by if statement. If this is greater than 50, then pass, fail. So this is how, but again, the problem is in this, I will have to apply additional formula, which will increase my file size. So what I can do, I'll just click here. I'll go to format cell and I'll go to custom format. And in this, I will say one semicolon. This side, I will put one criteria. If the number is greater than 50, then it should be pass. After the semicolon, if the number is less than 50, then it should be fail. And now the numbers are still there. So you can see here 76, 84, 29, 35, 48 and 65, but it will show as an pass and fail. So that's how you can actually use the custom format and you can design your own formats and still you can hide. So let's say sometime it happened, then there are numbers, they are confidential number. You want to keep the number, but you want to hide them. So usually what we do is we ended up doing it. We ended up applying the same font fill color. Most of the time it is white. So we apply the white fill color, or let's say here I have the fill color like this. So I will apply a font color on this to hide the numbers. So what happened in that on each cell now you have applied some formatting, which will increase your file size. So rather than that, I will recommend what you can do is you can simply go to format cell, go to custom and just type one semicolon. That's it. So which means what we are saying, we are not giving any indication what should we do with positive and negative numbers. So that Excel will get confused and it will not show anything. Numbers are there. If you click the cell, you can see in formula bar. If you will apply any formula on this, you still can see the total of this, but they will not be visible to the naked eye. So that's how you can smartly hide the numbers. This advanced filter. Now everyone have used the filter. Filter is a very great tool to just see some chunk of data out of the entire data. So let's say I want to see only building one data. So this is building data is available for me. But what happened is maximum time we use the filter only for one requirement where we want to copy some data out of the whole data. So for example, here someone will come and tell me that can you give me a HR department data? I will go to HR, copy it, and I will go to new sheet and paste it. Or maybe somewhere else on the another sheet or new file will paste it. That is the basic requirement of the most used function for filter. That's why we use filter usually. Okay, so some challenges I'm going to address with the filter and I'm going to tell you the solution. So what happened is here I have 9 columns. In the column, if I have to apply filter, I will simply go and to data tab. I'll click on this filter. And these tiny drop down options are there on each header. I can simply go ahead and select building one. This is one level filter. If I have to apply multi-level filter, I can go ahead and I can see under building one, I need department 80. So this is how I can apply all the filters. But the problem comes when imagine you have a data with 200 columns, and you want to apply filter on 50 columns out of that, then what happen then, and imagine this is your daily job, every day you have to do, then every day you will just sit there and you will just apply filter on 50 columns, and then it will take a lot of time. For that, there is a feature called advanced filter. A lot of people are not aware, and it is just lying there, but it is very great. So I'm going to show you how you can use. So for example, I will just copy these header here. Now I've copied all the header. You can only copy the header which you want to put a filter on. Let's say I want to put a filter on building. So I've just copied to show you that you can apply filter on each and every column. Like I have 9 column, I can apply filter on 9. So I'll say I need to apply filter on building 1. So I'll put it here. And in the building 1, I want to apply filter as 80, department 80. I'll put it here. Now what I'll do is I'll select somewhere on my data. I'll go to data tab. I'll go to advanced. In this advanced, you see it asks filter in the list in place. So I will say this is my data. Okay, it asks you list range. So this is my data. I selected my data. Once again, I'm going to show you. This is my data. I've selected it. Then it asks you the filter criteria range. So I said this is my criteria range. Remember, you have to create a criteria. First row will be the same as headers. Then you can choose your criteria. So I will say this is my criteria, building 1 NET, and click OK. As soon as you'll do that, now you see building 1 is selected, 80 is selected there itself in the data. And that's how you can just apply. I don't have to, otherwise manually if I'll have to go here. I'll have to first select building 1 here. I'll have to select 80 here. And then I will reach here. Otherwise, using this method in one go, you can simply apply a filter to as many as criteria as you have in your data. So whatever column length is, like we have 9 column, we can apply the filter criteria for everything. It doesn't stop here. It also help you to actually, so as I mentioned earlier, what is the basic requirement for filter is when we want to copy the data. So similarly, what you can do is in one step, rather than applying the filter in this list, what I can do now is I can go to data advanced filter and I will select this copy to another location. So see what will happen when I'll do that. Copy to another location in the data. I'm going to select my data and the criteria range. I'm going to select my criteria range, which will be this. And then here I will select, let's say this cell, and I will click OK. As soon as I'll do that, entire filtered data is copied to that another location, and I don't have to select, apply filter, copy from there and put it here. I don't have to do that. In one simple click, one simple option, I can do that. And one last thing, that as it is about advanced filtering, it does not only apply filter to rows, it also can apply filter to column. How? That's something a lot of people are not aware, but how it can apply filter to the column. So for example, I'm just gonna delete this data. I'll say I don't need entire data. What I need, and I'll also change the criteria here. I'll say I need the people with less than $10 pay rate, which means whoever pay rate is less than $10, I need those people, and so that I can just look into that profile and I can provide them some hike to those employees. And I don't need all of the detail. All I need is employee ID. I need the first name, I need their department, and I need their pay rate. Rest of the details I don't need. These are the 4 details I need, and the criteria is less than $10. We will again go to data and we will go to, so our data is selected, our criteria is selected. I'm gonna select it again. And instead this, I will say copy to another location, and rather than giving one cell, I will just select these 4 cells here. And I'll do that. I got the data for the people who have pay scale less than $10 here, only for the selected column. And that's how you can actually filter for columns. You can take specific columns and you will get the data for those specific columns just sorted in one place. It will make your work very easy, and it will also, if you are doing coding and VB automation, it will make your automation code very small. Rather than applying filter for 50 column and writing code for it, you can just create one criteria and 2 line you can apply the same code for this. Magic of flash fill. So when we say magic of flash fill, why it is a magic? Because it is also another tool which a lot of people are not aware, but which save hours of time, and it can do hours of time in seconds. So how does the flash fill work? So flash fill actually work on the pattern recognition. So it used the AI in Excel and it recognized the pattern and it tried to find out what you are trying to do with existing data and replicate the same pattern. So few example are here that let's say I have a first name Smith, I have a Tom. I have to create the and that too in the order where surname, comma, first name will come. So all I have to do is either I will go and I will use the concatenated formula like Tom and comma and then I can drag it down. That is something. But it is good if you have a repetitive task. Let's say you're working on an ad hoc. You don't want to create formula for everything. So simple way to do it is you just have to type it for one. You can come to the cell below to that, and then you can go to the home and fill and flash fill. The shortcut key for that is Control E, as you can see here. So I'll come to this cell and I press Control E, and now you see all the name has been created automatically based on the same pattern. Similar way, if I'll go and if I'll say here, let's say instead of that, I need a email ID, and email ID is smith.com@gmail.com. Press E and all the email ID in one go has been created, if you see, and they all are automatically has been converted to hyperlinks. So if I click on any of them, the email will be generated directly for that. Okay, so that is how you can use flash fill. Some other example of flash fill is, so this is called construction, where we are constructing using these two cells, we are constructing something. Flash will also work in destruction, which means we have some string, we have some text here, we want to extract some data. So from this email IDs, I want to extract first name and last name. So I will say Smith, I will say Howard. And when I will press Control E here and Control E here, then it will extract those names for me from that email ID within second. It will not take more than 2 seconds for you to press Control E. Similar way, here is the amount. I want to change the formatting of that amount, but I don't want to divide. So I want this under 10,000. So I want this should be like 10K. So rather than dividing this by 10 and then after that 10,000 and then adding K into it, what I will do is I will say 10K. Maybe, yeah. And then I'll come here and I'll press Control E. Automatically it will change to 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K, 100K, whatever the number is, it will change it to that number. Okay. Similar in this example, if you see, I have the list of addresses here and I want to extract the country and the pin code from it. Obviously, if I'll apply formula, it's the address length is varying, so the formula will be a little difficult to create. But simply if I just type one pin code here or I type one country here, I'll just press Control E. I will get all the code here. And just a second. And all the countries in here. Last in this, if you see, we have a mixture, we have a combination of text and alphabetical, so numerical. So it's a text and then numerical values are there. And there is no way possible, there's no delimiter, so there's no pattern. So if we will try to create a formula, it will be very hard to extract the numbers only out of this. But flash fills AI recognize the pattern. So if I say I want to extract the number and text from these jumbled up strings, it's very easy to do. All I have to do is 4, 6, 7. These are the numbers available in this. I type 467. I come here and I press Control E. It has extracted all the numbers, no matter where they are. It has extracted all for me. Similar way, if I say ASA F and then I'll press Control E, it will just extract all the text for me. So that is all about, that is the magic of Flashfill, how it can easily do the work. Automail creator. So automail creator is actually a concept where you can just using a formula, you can create an automatic mail generator. So most of the time in MS Team, when you're working on some reports, every day you have a specific distro to which you have to send your emails. And every day we try to go to Outlook and try to take the previous email and then, click on reply to all and use the same thing to draft that email, particular email. When you have a specific requirements, you can use a formula called hyperlink to actually create a email generator. How it works, I'm going to tell you. So for these things, to CC, subject and body are the four important for email. And these are the syntax we use. So how we do it actually. So if you see, whenever I type any email ID, let's say, let me type an email ID here. Automatically it turned into email, which says, if you see this message here, mail to pankaj@gmail.com. So which means this is the syntax. So there are specific syntax for all these things. So we are going to use that syntaxes and I will show you how you can create a one-click email generator using that. So hyperlink is of Excel formula which allow you to put a link with a friendly name, and when you click on that, it will redirect to those links. So in hyperlink, if I will put mail to semicolon, and after that, if I put any ID, let's say, and I will put a friendly name which says send mail. Why friendly name? So that it look like this. The name will be displayed here, but this particular formula now contain a hyperlink. So if I click on this, it will generate a mail for me and it will be ready to send. Similarly, similar way, if I want to add one more than one user, then all I have to do, I have to just add comma and I have to add my next ID. And then now this formula will send the email to both of this ID in two. If I want to add some email ID in CC, then very simply I have to use this syntax question mark CC equal to after this. So I'm gonna say question mark CC equal to, and then I'll add one email ID and then email ID will mark in CC. So I'm going to click on that. After I will add another syntaxes also. Next is add subject line. So when you want to add subject line, it's very simple. After the end of this address, you have to add and sign equal to. So whatever the subject I want to say, I want to say test mail. And last, not least, body of the mail. So what you want to put in the body of the email, that you can add by just simply saying and sign BODY body equal to, and this is a test mail. And then when I will click on this last link, see, I have two email IDs in here. I have one email ID in CC. I have my test mail as in subject line, and I have my body of the mail here. So that's how you can use a hyperlink function to generate a email sender. Let's say this is one example I have for you here in this. So this is the standard format. I have these email. I have three reports which I have to send it to my user, and this is the standard distro here. So first have three emails, second, third. These are the ID I have to use in CC, and then this is the subject line. This is the body of the mail. So what I will do is first to create that address, I have to concatenate all these things because they all should come in one string. So I'm gonna use this and mail to this. Okay. After that, CC this ID, then subject, this is the subject, and then last body of the mail, and this is body of the mail. Done. So this string is there. All I have to do is I have to put this string inside hyperlink. So I will just go hyperlink and give a friendly name, send email, and I can just simply add down the formula now, and in one go when I click on this, my mails are drafted. All I have to do is I have to attach the attachment. So using this hyperlink formula, unfortunately, you cannot attach the attachment, that is something you will have to do it manually, but it will still save a lot of your time because just one click you can create this kind of template, and with one click your mail will be drafted. So if you have to manage any changes in the distro, you don't have to remember it every day to add that person. You just simply can add it here and then you can use this template. Table is a very important tool in Excel. A lot of people don't use it, but I'm going to quickly take you to the advantage of table. So table is the solution of the biggest problem in Excel. One of the biggest problem, which is a static range. So what happen is, let's say I have this data. I'm going to apply one formula in this. And tomorrow also I have to add some column in this, and I have to add some bonus column maybe here. So I will add bonus column, and then the bonus is 10% of the pay rate. Then I have to copy that and drag it here. And then after that, I have to apply the formatting, which is the formatting here to here. All these things I have to do here. And tomorrow, when I will add some more data into it, this formula is not changing because the range is not changing. So I'll have to drag it manually. And second biggest thing comes specifically when we actually apply a pivot table. So when we apply a pivot table, every time we have to add the data, then we have to change the range of a pivot table. Some people actually think smarter. What they do is they select the entire column, which unnecessarily increase the file size. So to avoid those things, what is my suggestion is never do that. Never just choose the entire columns. They unnecessarily increase the file size, and volatile function, if you are using, they will take a lot of time in calculations. So to have the solution of all these problems is to always work with table. What table does is table actually linked the cell of the data, and the entire data will become interlinked. So it know what is happening in that particular data, what is the next adjacent cell is. So to convert any data into table, you have to go to insert and you have to click on the table. Shortcut key for this is Ctrl T. So select data anywhere and just press Ctrl T and click OK. Select my table as header and click OK. When you do that, by default, some kind of formatting is being applied here. If you don't want that formatting, you can simply go into the table tab, table style, and no formatting. And simply now your data will look like a normal, but now it is a table. And how you can identify your data as a table or a normal data? When you click on the data, you will see an extra tab called table design, and then it will help you out. Now this entire data is linked. So what is the benefit of it? Previously, I had this formula, which was a fixed range, but if I will apply the same formula now, so it will take table one and the column name. So now it will refer to that selected piece. You can change the table name by table design. You can go here and you can simply say, oh, and then after that, when I apply this, it says raw pay rate and done. Now, next time when I will add some data into it, it will automatically make it as a part of the table, and entire range will be automatically updated. If I have to add another column in here, as in like bonus, automatically formatting is applied to the header. It becomes the part of table. I will say this into 10%. Automatically it is applied to the entire column. So very easy and convenient to work. And the biggest thing is all you have to do is select anywhere on this data and then go to table, say summarize with pivot table. It will take the name of the table, click OK. And now this pivot table, I have, let's say, department, and I have count of department 19. And next time all I have to do is I have to just go and add some data. I don't have to change the range of this pivot. All I have to do, I just have to refresh it and it becomes 29. So I never have to worry about the range of my data, and I never have to select entire column. It will work with minimum column, whatever the data is possible. It will work till only that. So it will always keep your file size minimum and file the faster. Convert. I've seen most of the time people are working on Excel, and whenever they have to do the conversion, they have to do any kind of conversion, they quickly jump to Google. And they quickly jump to Google and try to see, okay, if weight in pound, they will quickly jump to convert into kg, but they'll go to Google. Where Excel have given you a one Excel formula which you can use to convert all kind of measurement systems. For example, if I have to go to 100 meter, how much it will be in foot. So for that, the Excel formula is convert. It asks only three things: number, this is my number, from unit, so I'm gonna say meter, this is the meter, Once you select meter, it will only give you limited option that what you can convert from meter. So obviously you cannot convert from meter to liter. So it will limit your option. From meter you can convert. So I want meter to foot. I will select this and enter. So 100 meter is 328 in foot. So simply you can select anything. You can just go and you can select, for example, liter to gallon, Celsius to Fahrenheit. So you have a lot of options. You can just go and find and select yes to degree Fahrenheit. And now you know 107 degrees Celsius is 224 degrees Fahrenheit. So that is how you can use the convert formula, and you can convert all kind of measurement system to the other measurement system. Goal seek, as it is clear by the name that what is the goal you are trying to seek, it help you in that. So for example, I'll give you one case study here is, this is the semester results I have. So I was working good from the beginning. I got 72 marks, 55, 56 and all. But my base target is 60%. At any cost, I have to gain 60% in my overall degree. For that, I only have 6, out of which 5 I have already completed. I have to calculate how much marks I need to obtain to seek my goal of 60%. So that's how this goal seek help us. So here I will have to put a number which will give me result here. So for that, what you have to do is you have to go, first of all, the very basic rule for this is the end result cell should be formulated, and the cell you will have to find the value should be non-formulated. So I'll go here. This is based on the formula. I'll go to what ifs analysis. I'll go to goal seek. In goal seek, it only has 3 things. First is set cell. Set cell means the result cell. This is the result cell. To value. So set this cell to the value. Value is I want 60%. Okay. By changing which cell? This cell, obviously, because that's the last one. So this, by changing this cell, I will click OK. And then it will run the calculation and it gives me that, okay, to get the 60%, you need to have 71.999. So I like 72 marks in your last semester, then you will be able to get 60% in overall. One another quick example I'll show you of goal seek, how you can utilize this is, I'm selling a product in the market and the product price is 5 lakh rupees. On that, I have 2 taxes, which is IGST, CGST. So total tax is 18%. My total price become 5,90,000 rupees, on which I'm giving 25% discount, and the final quotation will be 4,42,500. But my buyer or my client says that, you know, this is little high from our budget. Can you make it a round figure 4 lakh? Can you just commit to the round figure 4 lakh and then send me the quotation? So obviously I cannot change the taxes. I cannot change my base price. What I can change the discount. So now I have to find out how much discount I should give so that this quotation will become 4 lakh. So rather than trying different discounts in here like 35 and all this 32 and all, what I will do is I will simply go to this cell, which is final quotation. What if goal seek? Then in this, we will say set cell, this cell to 4 lakh by changing this discount cell. Click OK and done. Then it will tell you 32.20% discount will give you to the final quote of 4 lakh. So that is how you can use the goal seek, and it help you to achieve the number, achieve the result that, okay, if you have some goal in mind and if you have some calculation on it, what should be the variable, input variable to achieve that goal. So these were the 10 tips to make you champion in Excel. I hope you like it. For more awesome video like this, please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. Thank you so much, guys.